Hey guys, this is White Manga here with a new video, first live stream on the channel, here to review your crazy fan art for March Art Madness. Now, for those of you who don't know what March Art Madness is basically, by Saturday AM, the craziest, probably toughest fan art contest online, more like a art tournament. Think of it as the World Cup of art contest online. And, artists kind of go bat to bat, battle it out, duke it out, all for the grand prize of, having fun creating art, but also an iPad and Apple Pencil. The contest is also sponsored by Spectrum Noir and Clip Studio Paint. You guys see me use those all the time. There's several videos of me using Clip Studio Paint to create my comics, whether it be Apple Black, published and serialized in Saturday AM, or Bakasi in Saturday PM. You can check out all of my content and more from the Saturday AM roster, Saturday PM roster in our new free mobile app, available on iOS, available on Android. But check out Clip Studio Paint, works great, especially if you want to create content within that manga aesthetic or comic. Either way, even if you're just doing illustrations, animation, it's awesome. And then when it comes to Spectrum Noir, if Copic markers are too expensive, it is on par. It's durable, quality content. Quality illustrations can be made from it, and you guys can check out all the videos where I do that as well. So here, one of the other cool things with March Art Madness is your artwork gets to be reviewed by us, by artists who have been doing this for years, and kind of give you feedback, and we kind of vote along with everyone who can vote. In fact, you can still vote right now. All you need to do is go to the Saturday AM website. You can see we're on the third round. So this is actually the third round of artists, and you will see their entries as we scroll down and duke it out, and we kind of get feedback, the artists get feedback, and a little more exposure on their actual illustrations and fan art. Real quick, I want to go through the people here with me judging these entries. First, we have the founder of Saturday AM, My Footprint Entertainment, Frederick L. Jones. Frederick, you want to say hi?
Yep, hey everybody. Really excited to be doing this on White's channel. You guys, obviously, if you follow Saturday AM, you know White Manga and vice versa. And so really excited White's letting us have a chance to reach so many of you with this awesome art tournament. It's our 5th year doing it, so it's a really big deal for us. And this is an exciting year for us as well. So I hope everybody's staying safe, and also hope everyone appreciates some gorgeous artwork we're going to see today.
Okay, awesome. Then next we're going to go to Andrea, who is also a Sagami project here on YouTube. You want to say hi, Andrea?
Hello, everyone.
Easy, real quick. You see that, Fred? 2 seconds. Morgan, creator of Soul Beat, also a feature on Saturday AM. Morgan, want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. Good to be back for the 3rd week in a row.
Awesome. And then we have Big Daddy Ray, creator of Bully Eater. Ray, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Glad to be here. Thanks for having us on the channel, White.
Awesome. And we also have Jackie, who helps a great deal. Great staff, working really hard. We all appreciate you, Jackie. Now, going through that, we want to go through all of this real quick. You can see March Art Madness right here, the world's biggest fan art tournament, Saturday AM, PM, sponsored by Clip Studio Paint, Spectrum Noir. And let's go through everything. The artists are actually broken down into teams, and while they battle each other, the teams have different themes that they're working on. So for Team Apple Black, it would be Saturday AM characters versus other popular, maybe more mainstream anime. So an example of that would be Apple Black versus Fairy Tail. And here's another sign to let you guys know that time is running out, so you guys can actually go to the site and go vote for the artwork that you feel prevails or wins the battle, if you will. And we have our first matchup over here, Harukami_art versus at Artist Alleyway. These are creators who have defeated other artists to get to this point, and now they're going to duke it out. So I'm going.
let me jump in real quickly and just say just two quick things, just to correct two quick things. Number one is that, so unlike previous weeks of the tournament, you guys can see all the previous videos on our YouTube channel for Saturday AM. This is not a versus scenario. Basically, we're going to be choosing the two best artists out of the entire pool of people inside of each team. So, for example, in Black, we'll be looking at all of them collectively and choosing the two best, which is going to be really hard. Some of the other groups will have more than the people you see here in White's team Apple Black. But again, this is not a direct one-on-one matchup. Number two is that so the themes that you'll see us talk about, for example, Team Apple Black versus Fairy Tail. The idea is just that, again, like each group will have the main character, or should be the main character. Some cases it won't be, but it should be the main character versus the idea, right? So the idea is, in this case, Saturday AM versus anime. So in this case, it's Apple Black versus a popular anime series. It could be Fairy Tail, it could be Bleach, it could be Black Clover. So that's the idea of what you'll see here. So it's not specifically Fairy Tail, and it's not at this point for any of these a direct one-to-one matchup. It's just a general war, and whoever the two people who come out of this whole skirmish will be the two people that we vote on later in this show. So with that said, White, go ahead.
Okay, awesome. So first, since you're in already, Fred, you want to start off with Harakami art and let us know what you think.
Yeah, so I love this piece. I thought it was a really fun piece. Again, taking what I just said, you've got a number of characters on here. The artist didn't just stay with Apple Black. He threw in Sagami, which is the main character's name is Ayumi. Love the color effects going on here. Likewise, he's up against two popular series, Fairy Tail, and also Deku from My Hero Academia. I love the impact of this image. It's visceral. It's exciting. He's got the characters using their abilities, or at least giving you a sense of dynamic view of how they possibly would use their characters. We can see the Eridus. White can correct me because I never get it right. But we see the wand on Sano's hand lighting up. We've got the beautiful flame effects. We've got the kinetic energy coming from Deku. I really like this piece. It's got a narrative structure. It's got some really fun artwork, and it's action-oriented. It's got some dynamism to it. You could certainly quibble about a few things with it in terms of some of the anatomy and so forth, and some of the posing. But for the most part, it's a really, really dynamic image. I think it's a great job.
Awesome, for Fred. Also, for you guys, if you want to have a clearer view of the illustration, you can actually go to saturday-am.com/madness to get clearer views, and also follow us on all our social media. Up next, we have Oblivious 334. I'm going to send this to Morgan.
Oh, sorry, trying to get the mic. I really liked this piece too. I thought that there was some really great coloring and shading that was done. The line work is really strong. I love the action between, this is Oblivious chose Sano from Apple Black versus Asta from Black Clover. And there's a lot of energy going on between Sano punching that sword and really putting the pressure on Asta. I think if there were a couple of criticisms I had, the effects look really good. I think that they were really well done. It's hard to do stuff like that sometimes. I think maybe it kind of overpowers some of the art a little bit, especially on Asta. It's a little hard to see him underneath all that. And then there's some anatomy issues. I think, part of the perspective with Sano is kind of a trying to think of the word for it, kind of a design or a stylistic approach, but maybe there could have been some different choices in how his arms were presented that might have looked a little bit better. But no, otherwise this is one of my favorite pieces of this round.
Awesome. And next, I'm going to go to Artist Alleyway, and I'm going to get info from Andrea. What do you think?
Well, this is a pretty fun piece. I'm not too familiar with Mob Psycho, so I can't really name the characters here. But actually, I really enjoyed it. I could spend time looking at this picture and discover new things. For example, at first I didn't even notice that Saitama is in the background. And I absolutely enjoyed that there's so much background work going on here. and there's this dynamic punch in the foreground of Neon punching the guy whose name I don't know. So it's a very lively and dynamic piece, and I really enjoyed what artist Olivier did with this piece.
Awesome, great. I like it too, and I think Saitama being in the background is very, very Saitama. And then Raymond, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really solid piece from. I want to make sure I say it right. I think that's Brandon Draws. I guess I got that right, maybe.
At Brahim Draws.
Brahim Draws. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, really solid piece. You know, Sano and Barto with you know, with his Bakugana. You know, really like it. The colors are solid. The anatomy is solid. You know, my only kind of thing with it, it's a little bit safe. I feel like it's kind of just you know, kind of just, you know, it is what it is. You know, I would have liked to see maybe a little more dynamism in it somehow, maybe. But overall, really solid piece. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. I feel like the Sano pose I've seen somewhere, and maybe the font with the text could have been better. But this is overall great job from Brahim Draws. And I believe that is all for the entries for that Team Apple Black. And we will kind of be giving our votes on it towards the end of the video. So again, remember guys, you guys can go vote on the website, sponsored by Clip Studio Paint and Spectrum Noir. The next group, Team Bully Eater, where this is the similar thing, but it's Saturday AM versus wrestling, which is very on brand because WrestleMania is literally today. Again, go vote. And we're going to be going through Bully Eater, also one of the founding series of Saturday AM. Really action-packed. Go check that out. Here are the entries for that. And I'm going to be starting with Raymond. What do you think?
Yeah, man, this one.
Wait. That's not how we're doing this. Raymond speaks at the end. White, go. You go.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, because this is Raymond's group, we're gonna leave Raymond out of this. So actually, since you came in again, you go for it.
All right, so folks, this is how the company works. I'll probably pop in a little bit here throughout these chats. But look, like White said, you know, I didn't realize WrestleMania was happening this weekend, but I did think when we were putting the groups together that this was a really fun area for Bully Eater. Bully Eater's a great series. It's you know, all about a character who stands up against bullies and so forth. The same way Apple Black is discovery with this amazing young character, and we know we go on this epic journey in this world of magic. Bully Eater is kind of different from that in the sense that there's nothing truly special about Asao except for his conviction. He stands up for the little guy. So I thought, what better way to have that depicted than having him go up against popular wrestling figures. Now, I do follow wrestling. White's more on wrestling tip than I am. But I was so pleased to see the detail and some of the characters that I do recognize pop up in these images. This image, I can't name the people, but I know, especially the guy with the hat, I kind of know who that's supposed to be. I thought this was a really, really fun image. I thought, again, some dynamism to the art. I love the special effects of what's happening. Nebushiro's been killing it the entire tournament. He's, I think he's a French guy. Got some, or guy or girl, I don't know, but I know they're French. But they've always got I love the line work. It's very loose. It's not like heavy. He lets the effects kind of, you know, represent the actions happening so that the character work can just look simple. And this is just a great, I love the dynamism of the poses. I love Asao, our main character, sitting in the foreground. He's kind of pulling back a little bit. There's so much about this piece that I really love. The background obviously is kind of non-existent. Kind of got this sort of just strange virtual ring, I guess, you know, with the lights and stuff in the background. But I still love the effects of the battle happening above and of the lights in the background. I just think it captures itself really well. Toning could have been a little bit stronger to give a bit of definition, kind of create more of that cinematic look. But I definitely love the bruises that he represents just with color on Asao's forehead and on his hand. I think it's a really, really fun piece.
Awesome. And I can also, you know, as the wrestling person here, I believe that's Rey Mysterio and maybe that's John Cena. And then we have Sano and Isao, Saturday AM characters. So yeah, it is on brand. WrestleMania is happening today. I do think the illustration could have been, the rendering could be more, but overall, great piece. Moving on to the next. We have at Mystic Knight 13, and I'm going to go to Morgan on this one.
Yeah, this is again another favorite of mine. Between the stuff that they've got on the bottom, the graphics, and the little blurb about him not being able to see. This is, obviously Apple Black versus John Cena, if I understand that joke correctly. I'm not a big wrestling fan. Mystic Knight did a great job kind of selling it, that like we're viewing this from our TV screens, especially with the background. To me, I think is a really nice touch because it gives that sense of depth of field that a camera would have, where we're focusing on these characters in front, and then you've got this background that kind of blurs away, but it tells you enough that they're in this stadium, that it's WrestleMania. You can kind of see it in the logo, and I just thought that really sold to what Frederick was saying, like that cinematic quality to it. And again, the shading, the look on John Cena's face, the way that he rendered actually both of the characters' faces are just really, really great. There may have been some different lighting choices, like some more consistent lighting on the rest of their bodies, but I do love the highlights on their faces and on the places where it really matters. And I love the kind of moment that we're getting in this powerhouse move that John Cena is pulling on Santa right now.
Awesome. I believe the photo in the back might be a real photo and just like super blurred, and then the illustration is worked with to try and fit that surrounding. But overall, definitely one of the fave pieces of the tournament. Next, I'm going to go to Andrea at Exelon Art. Here's his or her entry. Let it rip.
This is a pretty dynamic piece. I actually really like what they did with the motion blur. That really gives that sense of speed to the artwork. At the same time, I feel like the anatomy is a bit off, and maybe the rendering could have been a bit better. But overall, I like the dynamics of this piece.
Awesome. I believe that's the Undertaker versus Sal. Again, another fun illustration. And then I'll be going for this one. This is at FS Art. I think this is also one of the fave illustration entries for the piece. I really like the painting, that saturated vibe, the pose, the angle, Brock Lesnar, the belt, the title, and how it's shining. It all looks really good. And then the environment just looks like Sal would be in his element, random chips, food, and video games. And I don't know how they would get to this point, but overall the illustration just looks like a really fun piece, really nicely rendered. It looks like the creator also took a lot of time putting their stuff together, especially because the thing about March of Madness is it all kind of takes place starting in March, but ends soon after March. So the creators, the illustrators don't usually have that much time to put this together. So it's not just voting. There are a lot of other factors that go into who wins a round and things like that. And so this creator putting this together in such a short time and meeting the deadline, I think gets some cool points. And again, it looks really good. Great job.
Real quickly, because I vaguely know this. Is that Brock Lesnar? Who is that supposed to be that he's lifting?
He's lifting Brock Lesnar, the current I believe he's the current WWE champion right now, unless somebody else beats him today. I believe that's Drew McIntyre, unless he's beaten today. But he's the current champion. That is Brock Lesnar.
Okay, yeah, I don't know wrestling well, but I could recognize, like, I knew the hat. I didn't know it was John Cena. I knew the hat guy. And then this one, because Brock Lesnar's kind of got that, like, he's a really big Hulk-looking guy, right?
Yeah, and you can tell with the tattoo. So he even got like the tattoo. So that tattoo on his chest, that's Brock's tattoo. He has a tattoo of a knife on his chest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I was just curious, but that's beautiful image, though.
Yeah. Yes. And then last year we have another entry by Okanotes, and I'm going to go to who hasn't spoken.
Everyone's spoken. You can go to Andrea or Morgan again if you like.
Andrea, can you go over this by Okanotes? You got some Hulk Hogan, you got some Randy Savage, got some Sal. What do you think?
Actually, this was one of my favorite pieces from this round. I really like the whole dynamics, how he is leaping forward, and how you can see the motion in the background. Even like, sure, there's not much of a background going on here, but I felt like I didn't really need a background for this piece because I just love how everything is in motion and I can feel the dynamics going on in this piece. So I really did enjoy this one.
Yeah, I do like the stylistic nature of certain things. I do like the lighting. You can see the rope that Hulk Hogan is kind of bouncing off of, so it's really expressive. Reminds me of Jay a little bit. Jay, also creator of Hammer, also published and serialized in Saturday AM. Some of the lighting is really good, so I enjoyed this piece. A great job by Okanotes, and you can actually see like the work in progress from the creator's IG page. And then we've seen everything from here, and up next is, the next group would be, got some more Spectrum Noir art. But the next group is Clock Striker. And here is Cast from Clock Striker, the main lead of Clock Striker. And now the theme for this group was Saturday AM versus manga. So it's the same thing, but maybe popular manga out there. And the example here is maybe a Clock Striker versus a Boruto, but like we mentioned before, it could be any other manga of your choice, but in a Clock Striker or any Saturday AM series versus a manga series of your choice, for it to be excluded here. And we have the first illustration, first entry by @Dorden_draws99, and I'm going to be starting with you, Ray. What do you think about this?
It's beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful piece. I mean, there's nothing I can say negative about this. I mean, it's the colors are amazing, the anatomy's on point. It kind of reminds me of maybe like a cover of a romance novel or something. But they did a really good job rendering both characters and making them look like they match. Even though they're from completely different series and different art styles, in this particular picture, they look like they belong together. So really good job by make sure I say it right, Dorden_draws99. So
yeah, @Dorden_draws99. I'm just gonna call you Dorden. But yeah, really fun painted piece. Really like it. Big fan of FMA as well. Next over here we have @Mano.Azumi. Fun illustration. Clock Striker Cast versus Genos from One Punch Man. Morgan, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought that was a really good matchup, kind of like the last one. We've got, two people with cybernetic type armature. I really love the action in this. I love, the explosion effect is really well done. Maybe the weakest part is the piece that's kind of behind Janus. It just kind of looks a little weird to me. But I love Cast. I think, and luckily she really takes up a lot of the image here. I think Mano did a good job focusing on her, even though I'm not always a fan of a character looking away from the camera. I think that she did a great job with her here, where we can recognize her easily by all these details, the outfit, the hand. I love the pose that she's got. Like, she's really raring to go against Genos, who we know is a very powerful character. So there's a sense of fearlessness that's coming through with the way that she drew Cast here. Genos, some of his body proportions are kind of weird looking, or he's kind of flexed in certain ways that seem kind of unrealistic. But then again, he is a cyborg, so that can kind of be forgiven a little bit. Overall, I think that from the coloring to the details and just the overall action that Mano showed here, this was a really great piece.
Yeah, I agree. This is definitely one of the favorites of the tournament as well. Next, we have @Camel_988 or 988, and we have Cast versus, I believe, Boruto. And Andrea, what you think?
I actually think this is a pretty fun piece because it actually looks like as if it was a screenshot from an anime, and I really like what they did here with even adding subtitles and all. I really like Cast's pose and how she actually feels like she could be a character in Boruto, so I really like this version. I feel like the background is a tiny bit lackluster, but at the same time, I think this is a nice piece. I really like the composition.
Awesome. Yeah, this is also one of my favorite entries going into this. Really fun, dynamic, cool action. Love it. And then, okay, I'll take this one. This is @the original underscore Imani, at the underscore original underscore Imani. And here's the artwork. Here we have basically Apple Black and Demon Slayer. That's Opal from Apple Black versus, what's her name? Nezuko or something from Demon Slayer. I just recently finished Demon Slayer, so hopefully I didn't butcher that. But fun piece. I really like the background here. And it's also snowing, which is reminiscent of the first episode from the series as well. I think fun pose. You can see like a nice blur with the kick and the character Opal kind of blocking it a little bit. Overall, I like the piece. I like the background painting. I like that the creator went all out in such a short time to put this together. Really, everybody really vying for that top spot to win. And you can kind of tell with the effort you're putting into the illustration, especially picking Opal, who I wouldn't say is the easiest to draw, as a lot the parts that are really complicated to put together. Took some liberties with the costume, which is also still fine. Fun action pose, nice angle, get a lot of depth with some of the, I believe, bamboos in the way. Fun action piece. I really think they did a great job overall. So it gets a thumbs up from me. And that will be all in Team Clock Striker. Again, guys, you guys can go vote, see clearer images on the Saturday AM website, go look through it and put your voting in. Next up, we have Team Sagami. And the theme here was Saturday AM versus video game. So an example would be Sagami versus Fire Emblem. We'll be starting off here with Fred. What do you think about this at nathq_art?
Yeah, so I've said before, if you guys have watched the previous episodes of our live chats for March Art Madness, I personally am a big fan of this artist. I think his style is, I think he exclusively works in marker or colored pencil, and so he just has this, when you see a NatQ art image, it always has a quirkiness to it and just a complete originality to it. This one, of course, is Sano and Ayumi from Sagami, Sano from Apple Black, and they look very realistic, very realistic. So realistic that Sano has quite a forehead on him. But no, I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting piece. So, if you watch the previous videos, you'll know that, I'm obviously on the weather today, but I'm usually pretty direct in terms of what I think about some of these posts, these images. This is not my favorite NatQ piece, and this isn't my favorite piece of today's show. I think it's chiefly because, again, like there's a narrative here, but it's not explained. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know why these characters look so mature, even though stylistically the artist has this unique style to it. I don't know why they're in a sort of post-apocalyptic environment. I
think that's because it might be because there might not be and Ayumi from Sagami. I believe that might be Ellie from Last of Us video game.
Okay, all right. So then, okay, well that makes sense then. Okay, got it. So So again, we were talking about before at the beginning of the thing where sometimes some of the artists did not do the main character. So they kind of did something different. And so for each of the teams. So it should have been Sagami in this one, but this person didn't do that. So look, it's a cool image. It's an interesting image. Again, not one of my favorite. I think the camera angle being so caught up on top of them. Again, it's so close up. I love the distinction and the detail in their faces. I still don't quite know what I'm supposed to get from the piece. I don't know why they're looking over their shoulder like that. I don't know what Apple Black has to do with this image. I don't, if it is Last of Us, this post-apocalyptic environment, the look on their faces and what they're doing, I'm not quite sure why. I know the game, I know it's a horror game, but it still doesn't quite explain to me why this is the way it is. So I love the piece from a stylistic standpoint, from a technical standpoint, in terms of the way they drafted it with the tools they used. In terms of it telling a narrative that makes sense to me, I'm not sure I completely get it, but I do love I do love some of the choices this person made. I love the black and white aspect of it. It's really cool.
Awesome, Fred. That's at natq_art. I think there's a nice, really realistic attempt here again in such a short time. That's impressive. Up next, we have at Corez_art. and I'll be going to Morgan on this one. What do you think?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I don't recognize the video game counterpart to Ayumi here. I don't know.
That should be Martial Law from Tekken.
From Tekken. Okay, I thought maybe it was a fighting game like that. Fortunately, never played it. No, I really like the fact that they're squaring up. I like that narrative. I like the moody palette that they chose here. It's very consistent throughout. There maybe could have been some better highlighting. The fact she's got this really big, vibrant fire and the characters still seem very dark is a little bit distracting. And also the fact that maybe there could be more light being thrown on the character across from her. It kind of doesn't help the way that he is highlighted. He doesn't quite seem like he's in the right position across from her, but that's maybe just a nitpicky thing for me. But no, I do like the way that they were rendered, the painterly detail that Kora's art used to draw this piece. Overall, it's really good.
Awesome, I like it too. It looks like maybe one of the last battles before you maybe get to the other last boss in the video game, something like that. So awesome. Kora's art's been doing well all throughout the tournament. So thumbs up. And then here we have at MPOJ. And Raymond, I'm gonna shoot this to you. What do you think?
Yeah, I really love this one. This was a really, really cool one. I'm a big fan of the Persona game, so I resonate with this one right away. The colors look really good. The anatomy's on point. Actually, this one to me could, I remember MPJ from the last one. Her colors were always really cool. This one actually to me looked like it could be like a promo art for, for Persona or some kind of crossover game or something like that. So I really like it. I guess my only nitpick with it is that I guess that's a Yumi in the corner. Only reason I would say yes is because it's her, because of the theme or whatever. But it'd have been nice to kind of maybe see a little more of a Yumi so we can, kind of see, make sure we make out that's actually her. But other than that, everything was really well rendered. Like I said, I really, really enjoyed the colors on this one. Really cool. And the effects look really good too.
Awesome, yeah, dude. There's a lot going on. It's very vibrant, but it still manages to get your attention. I believe that is a Yumi, and really nice action piece. A lot going on, but overall, I still think it's a really strong illustration. And then last, I will take this one. This is at Call Me Naka. I believe this is maybe a blend of World of Warcraft and obviously a Yumi from Sagami, and that's to be some kind of Diablo type character at the bottom there, fire versus fire. I do like the angle. I like the coloring. I like the overall tone and texture of how the illustration is put together. I like the background. Nothing too crazy. A little abstract, but again, very hellish, very on brand. And even the way the Diablo looking thing is rendered. I've never been a huge World of Warcraft person, but I do like the effort in this illustration, especially to go as far as to almost make a new Sagami logo to fit that World of Warcraft blend. And I think it works very, very well. I think Call Me Naka is another person that has done really well in the tournament. And so I applaud for this entry. I think stylistically, it looks good. Some edges kind of have that nice 3D blur to it. So the creators kind of making you focus on certain parts, and that's just these characters kind of clashing. I think Ayumi has this in the bag, by the way. So yeah, great job by at Call Me Naka. Overall, I'm sure people who are maybe bigger fans of World of Warcraft will even appreciate this even further. And then lastly, over here, we have at Gary Lytle. And Fred, I'll give this back to you. What do you think?
So obviously they didn't do Sagami in this piece. We've been fans of Gary Lytle since last year. He had a great piece last week, even though it was a young adult. As you see in our previous video, it's interesting. So this is one of the this is the female character, one of the female characters from Bakassi, right? What's her name?
Yeah, it's Shauna.
Okay, and then this is Master Chief, I believe, from Halo. So I think at least. So it's interesting. I think so I mean, it's not one of my favorite pieces of today's show, Or possibly Doom Eternal, like someone was saying, possibly Doom Eternal. It's probably more so Doom Eternal. I know there's different designs for Halo, for some of the Master Chief clones, but and also just shows my age because that's when I was in the gaming industry. But yeah, it's not one of my favorite pieces. I mean, there's a lot I like about it. The color's not as vibrant or specific as I'd like to see. The image itself is just kind of there. There's not a lot of activity. The speed lines don't make a difference for what you're seeing. So it just seems to be just something that kind of occupy the white space around the two of them. It's white space around them. So like it's also as generic as you can get. There's no like attempt at like, a pattern or some sort of design around it, just speed lines on a white background. So it's interesting. I will say, I think the color I think betrays the character, whether it is on the right, whatever that character is, Master Chief, Halo, or Doom Eternal. But the character from Bakassi, I think, was rendered very well. Like, I think even though we only get a small piece of her, she's looking up, her perspective looks correct, her body proportions look correct. There's a lot of detail around the clothing and so forth, her facial expressions. She's got light line work on her face. She's got some proper shading on her neck. I love the strands of hair. I mean, Gary Lytle is a fantastic artist, and I think that I would have loved to have seen more of her, frankly, just doing something. It would have made, I think, a more compelling image than what we got here. But all in all, again, it just showcases the talent of Gary Lytle, even though I don't think it's nearly one of the stronger pieces, but it does showcase the amazing talent that he has. So, all right, real quickly, then what I wanted to say, I was going to hop on and say this, is that, so what I'd like to do is, so obviously just give folks just a bit of an understanding of what's going to happen, because we've made some good time, so I want to just make sure everyone understands what's going to happen next. And then to likewise also set up what I want to make sure that the folks, the creators do, yourself included. So folks, again, this is a tournament, as White said. So you've now witnessed all of the art from this round. This is round 3, week 3 out of 5 rounds. We start with 64 artists. We end up with one. One artist is going to walk away with the grand prize package and so on. So this will not determine who wins what we're about to do, but it does go a long way to making that decision. And you guys can direct ultimately what happens, because you can go vote, as White said, onto our main channel. So if you click back to the main site and just go to where it says vote button so they can see it. So what will happen, folks, if you go back to our main website here, any of these sections that you go to, Team Apple Black or Team Bullier, as White scrolls down, you'll see right here underneath each team, there's a gigantic block like right here. Saturday AM March Hard Madness, can't miss it. Click here, vote right in the center. Just click that, it'll open up a separate survey. And in that survey, there's just 2 questions. There's a third question that we just get for basic information purposes, but there's 2 questions there. And basically, and it's going to ask you who's your top artist that you think should come out of that team, out of that group, and then who's your second place choice. Now, I want to make a couple of things clear. Number one is that you can, because of the way that the thing is structured, because we do put the artwork side by side, so you don't need to come back to the webpage to look at the art. It's all right there in the survey. We make it easier for you. The problem of doing that, however, is that the way it's structured is that you could theoretically choose the same person twice, or you could choose more than one person for each of the questions. So I want to be very clear with you what will happen. If you don't follow the rules as is detailed in the survey, we will not count that vote. So if you want to vote for a fellow countryman or woman, if you want to vote for a friend or a family member, if you want to vote for who you believe to be the best artist in the entire tournament, all of those are valid. But if you don't follow the rules when you vote, you will essentially be doing nothing, because the vote will be discounted from the absolute start of our counting the votes later tonight. It'll be completely just withdrawn if you don't follow the rules. So you must vote for 2 separate people in each of the 2 questions that you have. One person that you think is the best artist to come out of the group, come out of that team for question 1, and then for question 2, they'll ask who's your second person you think should come out of this group, and you must choose a separate artist from the first artist that you chose. If you do anything separate from that, we will discount the vote. So what we're about to do right now is that we are going to vote collectively, the 5 of us. And to be clear, when we vote, our votes count for 15 points per. Now, I'm going to add a special wrinkle on it. The person who is voting on their character that they created, that person's vote will have an extra 5 points put onto it. And that allows us, therefore, then to really make our votes pivotal towards what is going to occur with who comes out of that group. So if you're the artist and you created some brilliant fan art, but you didn't use the character artwork and so forth, then you're probably not going to get that extra bonus point unless your artwork is so amazing that the artist who created the main character of that team, but you didn't draw that person's character, if your artwork is just that amazing, well, they're still going to probably give you a vote. It's that simple. But this allows us to just kind of create the necessary components to choose by far the best artists in each single group. And again, you can make the difference by making sure that you, your friends, your family members, anyone you think loves great, diverse manga content comes to our website and votes. So I want to make it very clear with you again, the voting is key. So what's going to happen right now is that White's going to start with Team Apple Black. And White, I want to ask you and Andrea and Raymond, and of course I'll do this for Clockstrike, I want to ask that every time we get to your team, that we take a couple of minutes and we just allow the creator to explain the plot. Not long. We've been going really good today on time. So just a real quick explanation of what is Apple Black or what is Sagami or what is Bull Eater from the creator perspective. And then, you know, how people can continue to check it out and support it via our mobile app. So with that being said, White, we'll start with you for Team Apple Black. And then White, once you give your preamble about what the series is about, then the way that we've done it in the past, as you know, is basically you'll just say, okay, first piece, Harakami art, and you'll say, Frederick, what's your vote? Morgan, what's your vote? Andrea, what's your vote? Raymond, what's your vote? And then you'll give your vote at the very end per each image, okay?
Gotcha.
Everybody else good? Raymond, Andrea, Morgan, everybody, does that make sense?
Sounds good to me.
All right, okay. Well, White, why don't you tell everybody about Apple Black? I'm sure they know about it, but tell them anyway.
Yeah, I was about to say. Apple Black is, you know, my shonen series. It is about someone, Sano, who is burdened with being this savior, this Trinity figure, while also trying to work out his inner struggles, especially the one about the loss of his father. And, you know, you have a bunch of diverse characters and, you know, allies that will kind of help within the quest of ridding evil from Eden, which is the world built in Apple Black. You guys can check out a free chapter of Apple Black on the Saturday AM website. At the top here, you go to Manga, you see all the series, or you come here to the very bottom, you can actually see all the series. Sano from Apple Black, Ayumi from Sagami, Bully Eater, Isao from Bully Eater, and Cast from Clock Striker, and the rest, like Dante from Soul B. So yeah, that's Apple Black. You can check out more of Apple Black within the Saturday AM mobile app, which is also available on iOS and Android. Now, for the two that I'll be for the voting, I'm going to go around, and I'm going to start with Andrea. Or no, I'm going to start with Fred. What are your
before you do this way we get the artwork scene, because again, it's you know, some people may forget. So just go to Harakami Art, click it, say, okay, Raymond, what's your vote for this? Andrea, what's your vote for this? Morgan, what's your vote for this? Okay. And then at the very end, after we've gone through each one of the images, then you will then give the two, since your vote is so pivotal in this group, you'll give the two people that you think should advance from this group.
All right. So starting here, Fred.
Yeah, so Harakami Art, so my vote is yes.
So actually go back.
Wait, let's stop for a second. Yeah, this is getting a little confused. Just go here again. Just
Raymond.
Andrea, what's your vote? Morgan, what's your vote? And then, you know, and I'm sure Jack is collecting all the votes anyway. But just it's yes or no, guys. It's yes or no. Yes, this advances. No, it doesn't advance. Each of your votes is your vote. So go ahead.
Raymond.
I would definitely say yes.
Andrea.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Fred for Artist Alleyway.
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Andrea,
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
If all of you are yeses, then at Brahim just attested. Fred,
No.
Raymond,
No.
Morgan,
No.
Andrea,
No.
at Oblivious 334, Raymond,
No.
Fred,
No.
Andrea,
No.
Morgan.
No.
Okay, and so for my picks as well, I'm going to go for what everybody went with. At Harakami Art, I do like this illustration as well. I like how he's illustrated Sano, the whole look, and some liberties, experimentation with the line work. But overall, it still sells the characters. Like the fact that it's also chosen popular characters to other popular series, and sometimes in some cases actually match in some kind of way. Maybe there's certain similarities with, you could say, a Deku in the way they behave. And then obviously with the Yumi and Natsu from Fairy Tail, Fire versus Fire, that's always interesting to look at. I like that the artist, again, in such a short time out to render a background and put that together and still have it sell. Because sometimes you don't always have to, you put a background, it might actually take away from the illustration. I think here we did it best. The clouds could be better. There's certain things that could be better, but overall, I think this is a yes from me. So at Harakami Art gets a thumbs up from me. And then my next pick is also at artist Alleyway here. Also not a huge Mob Psycho person, just because I haven't seen it. I think I've only seen the first episode, but I kind of have a decent idea of what's going on here. Again, the characters are nicely rendered. Like Andrea said earlier, the Saitama plug-in in the back is very fitting. Also by the same creator of Mob Psycho 1. So that's a nice Easter egg. Again, background rendering looks like a supermarket area, so it makes even more sense that Saitama is there. The dynamic punch in the front, and then somewhat of a three-dimensional vibe. And the stylistically, I think everything gels together pretty well. So overall, this piece gets another thumbs up for me. Santa looks good. I believe the character's name is Mob. Mob looks good, sparking up there, about to go to town with Santa. So artist Alleyway gets the other yes from me. Here with Brahim Draws, again, I feel like the Sano pose is just the illustration overall is too safe, and the Sano pose I've seen somewhere, even to the point of some of the way it's colored, but still, you can take some inspiration here and there. It's not the exact same, I'm sure. So here, I think the creator still did a decent job. The characters look as they're supposed to look. But again, it's too safe. The background's too safe. But I do like the effort in trying to put this together. The text, it could have been done without the text completely. But putting in the text, it doesn't look as good. It's not legible or easy to read. And it's also, just little things like Sano maybe wouldn't talk like that. But I'm not nitpicky about that. I think there's just certain things about this piece that just do not edge the other ones that I've picked. But still overall, good job to at Brahim Draws. And then with this one, Oblivious 334, wonderful artist. But like Morgan said as well, I agree that some of the impact might have taken away from the illustration, as it makes it very difficult to see Asta. And then some of the anatomy kind of takes points away from the illustration and just makes it look a little too weird. But some of the rendering, coloring does look very, very, very good. Oblivious has actually done a really good job. Throughout.
I'm glad you said that about Oblivious. I just wanted to say real quickly again, when I started this tournament 5 years ago, we've seen artists who've appeared in previous competitions. Oblivious appeared in a competition over the holiday. He had a fantastic, in fact, he won the holiday competition we did during the Christmas season. You're right. And I'm so glad you said that, because he is a great artist. And I just want to be clear, all these artists are amazing, but there's some artists that are really fantastic. They're going to have, future opportunities. Oblivious is going to have one. This image, unfortunately, had some of those glaring issues you talked about, but still, hats off to him for being just having real talent.
Awesome. So moving on real quickly to Team Bully Eater, and I'm going to start here.
Let's start wait, start with Raymond. Raymond, tell us about Bully Eater. Tell everyone about Bully Eater. Tell us about the character and what makes the series unique, real quickly, and then we'll get to the voting.
Bullet Eater. Bullet Eater follows the main character, Asao, which you've seen in a lot of the pictures here. He detests bullying to the extreme, to the point where he literally can't watch anyone get bullied, to the point where he'll go in there and battle guys that are twice his size, and people that are completely out of his league as far as fighting goes. Basically the story takes place when he gets accepted into a school called Greater Dragon Institute, which is basically an elite school for all things martial arts, where you can imagine like a college, but for martial artists from around the world. And as you can imagine, a place like that would have a lot of bullying. So Asao has to not only figure out how to navigate all these fighters from all over the place, but he also he's also going to run into situations where he's going to put himself in danger to help people that he felt like are being bullied or mistreated or anything like that. So, but as far as the series goes, it's, a lot of action, martial arts based. You can check it out. The first chapter is on the website, just like everybody else's. Just check out the read manga section on Saturday-am.com. And then if you download our app, which is free, you can check us out. You can check me out there, where I have the volume 1 inside of our store vault, where you can check it out. The first full volume that includes the first, I believe, 6 chapters in it. So, but that's it.
Awesome, Ray. That's Bully Eater. Again, all the details would be on the app, or even details on the app will be on the website. So, starting off with Fred, yes or no? At nebu.shiro. Fred?
Oops, sorry. I was saying this is a tough group. Yes on this one.
Yep. Okay. Sorry. Morgan?
This is a no for me.
Andrea?
No.
This is a no for me. Then Fred?
No on this one.
Morgan?
This is a yes for me.
Andrea?
No.
This is, like you guys said, it is a tough one, but that is a yes. This is a yes for me. Andrea?
No.
Fred?
No.
Morgan?
No.
So this is a no for me. At Exelon Art, still great artist. All of these artists are. At FS Art, Fred?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Andrea?
Yes.
This is a yes for me. At Okanotes, Fred?
No.
Morgan?
No.
Andrea?
Yes.
And this is a no from me. So, Raymond, you can kind of
this one's super tough, man. Good grief. For this one, though I really like the energy that comes out of this one. I love the kinetic, the way everything is drawn. You can just feel that punch up there. But I'm gonna say no to this one.
Okay.
And to Mystic Knight 13, really like it. I really do. It's really cool. I feel bad for Sano. He's about to take a national L here, but for now, I'm gonna say no to that one, because I really want. There was some. I do appreciate people actually following the rules and actually drawing the character, not just because it's mine, but just in general. So that's the only reason I'm gonna say no to this one.
Okay.
All right, this one's really cool. Like this one, the anatomy, there's anatomy issues here, but it just feels so right. Like the way they drew everything, it kind of washes that away. But unfortunately, this time I'm gonna say no to this one. Good job though. All right, and this one is a yes. This one is a yes. It's obvious. This one by how do you say the name again?
At F, I pronounce it at FS.
F is art. Okay, yeah, at F is art. This is definitely a yes. I mean, there's nothing else to say about that one. It's really good. Everything about it is awesome.
Okay.
And this one,
Notes.
this one I'm gonna say yes to because I this one makes it feels like the old kind of comics I used to read back in the day when I was young. A lot of the old school manga, like we had one called Ninja High School that this reminds me of. So I mean I love this one. Has a lot of personality. It's super fun. So that's gonna be my yes for this. My second yes for Oaken Notes.
Okay.
Let me just real quickly just put a quick cap on this just to say that. So again, I want to be very clear. Be very, very clear with everybody that the rules were to draw the main character, but it wasn't. Not everyone got that same information. So we're not penalizing anyone for that. The artists are choosing what they would choose, which are their characters being represented. So that's a challenge on that front. But at the same time, again, there are several. I'm happy that you saw the split in the vote. This is a really tough group in general, so I don't think anyone's going to be penalized for drawing someone else's character in a certain team. Obviously, the creator is going to do what the creator is going to do. In this case, Raymond chose people who drew his character. But what I would say, just real quickly, is that, again, this is a very balanced scenario. Lots of talent in this particular group, so it's going to be a really hard decision regardless. And then on top of that, folks, you can always make the difference by voting. So you've got until 11:59 p.m. tonight to go out and vote, to get some friends and family to vote. Make sure they follow the rules, but your votes have power. So please make sure you vote. So sorry, White, go ahead.
Awesome. Again, see another sign to vote. Just a reminder, again, this tournament is actually sponsored by Spectrum Noir and Clip Studio Paint. You guys see me use those all the time, so it's very easy to recommend them. And then we have next group. You want to talk about Clock Striker?
Yeah, just real quickly. So, folks, the Clock Striker series I created, and it is Shonen Manga's first Black female lead character. It's really a representative of what Saturday is all about, with creators and characters who come from all over the world working in the manga art style. Like most Shonen manga, it's a character who's on a quest to achieve something. It's an underdog. In this case, it's a young female named Cast. She's 13 years old. She's not, or 12 years old, that's when the story starts. She's not, she's really smart. She's more of a tomboy. And she likes to build things, but she's been disabled. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a left hand. And then on top of that, she's a girl. She's a young Black girl at that. So in the world that she occupies, the same way that ninja are not quite the way we know ninja to be in Naruto, and they have a whole society built around them. In this one, engineers are not quite the way we know engineers to be. They are known as smiths, a la blacksmiths. So from that standpoint, as a blacksmith, you're basically kind of like half warrior, half engineer. You can build things. So she wants to be one. A lot of girls and a lot of people of color are not, just like in our real world. So as a result of that, Cass becomes a striker, which is an assistant to an official smith, which is, in this case, a woman named Miss Clock. And so it's about her adventures as she goes on a quest to uncover a little bit more about her background and what her ultimate destiny is. But ultimately, it's about her wanting to become an official smith so she can actually build things and help people. And she gets on all sorts of cool adventures. She builds herself this robotic hand. And so it's a lot of cool stuff into it. But it's perfect for boys, girls, white, Black, everywhere around the world. So check out Clock Striker.
Awesome. So going around with the group again, starting here, I'm going to start with you, Raymond, at Dordan_draws99.
Yes.
Actually, hold up real quick. Okay. Morgan?
This one was really tough, but I have to say no.
Andrea?
Yes.
Yeah, this is another tough group. I'm going to say no to this. Raymond?
I'm saying yes to this one.
Morgan?
Yes for me.
Andrea?
Yes.
This is a yes for me. Raymond,
No.
Morgan,
Yes.
Andrea.
No.
Ah, man, this is hard. This is a yes for me. I literally just changed my mind. Raymond,
No.
Morgan,
No.
Andrea.
No.
Yeah, this is sadly a no for me as much as I like this, but it's a no. Now, so Fred, you can kind of go through it.
Yeah, so really tough group again. I don't think it's as tough as Bully. I think Bully was by far the toughest in the tournament this week. Just really, really difficult group. This one I don't think it was as tough, but it's not to say the talent's not there. I think talent in my group is extraordinary. So this piece of Jordan Draw, I love Jordan Draw's work. You've seen her. Sorry, you can hear my dog in the background. She's dreaming. I love Jordan Draw's work. I've seen it. I've talked about it in previous groups. I'm a big, big fan of what she did. And as Raymond said earlier, she has a gorgeous art style, and this is clear in this piece. You bring these two characters together. There's a couple of things that bothered me with this piece. One being the fact that Cass metallic hand is on the wrong hand, which happens. We've seen it happen to people who are actually drawing clock strikers. So I'm not dinging it for that, but it did. But obviously, it stands out to me. And then two, just the size of Edward's hand. I'm sure it's there for effect, but when your art style is so pitch perfect, realistic as she does, and she marries the styles of the both characters together, when you do that, it's just a really compelling image. It's compelling all the way across the board. So, but for me, I couldn't go with it just because there's really not much else there happening. I would have loved to, as I said earlier about one of the other images where they had speed lines for no reason. I would have actually loved speed lines here or something to just provide some kinetic component to it. Like had there been some effects put on the, cast hand with energy coming out of it and so forth, it would just give like something more happening. It's just, as it stands, as gorgeous as it is, and it is tremendously gorgeous, it's just too static, which is odd to say about something that's so fully detailed the way it is. It just feels so static. One thing I will give this, and I've talked about this before, one thing I love about this piece from Jordan Draws is the curly hair on Cass. Absolutely love that. Again, love that. We'll see what happens if Jordan Draws gets through. I certainly would not complain because I think he's an extraordinary artist. But this piece for me, out of the four, I couldn't give this a yes to. The next piece, obviously this one is exactly the opposite of what I was thinking about Jordan Draw's piece. This one has this beautiful painted impact to it. You've got absolute kinetic energy happening with it completely. It is extraordinary to look at. Cass is heroic looking as she's down the bottom, ready to take on her challengers, which of course is very much part of that character's ethos. She charges into battle. I love it as well. The way her hair looks in this as well. You can see some of the sort of, curls and kind of like a dreadlock look to it. I love Genos coming out of it. Yes, Genos doesn't quite look right in terms of body elements, but it's manga. It's manga. But this is a really gorgeous image. The explosion, the sheer fact that they put the explosion in there elevates this piece. If they had done anything different to this piece with speed lines or something else going on with it, this piece would not nearly be where it's at in terms of people liking it so much. But the fact that they had the explosion in there, the fact that the artist understood to put that in to give gravity to what was happening, elevates this piece, I think, frankly, to one of the top pieces of this week's tournament. So this is a definite yes for me. These last two are where I had a bigger challenge. I'm with White. I'm ultimately going to go with this piece. And the reason why is because I like the way Cass is coming towards Boruto. The sky is fairly innocuous. It's not really doing anything. I like the speed lines that are there, which is more kind of coming across more like wind. I like the fact that, again, based on the wind, you see the fact that Boruto's coat is flopping. So I actually kind of like that. I also like that it's telling a story. There are elements here that I like a lot. Is it perfect? No. I wish some of the pose was a bit more dynamic. I wish the look of Cass was a bit more emphatic. The way she kind of looks, it's a bit too stylized, but the color is pitch perfect. The body proportions are pitch perfect. The look on Boruto's face is fantastic. Again, the sensation of wind happening is really, really cool. All of that I love. I love the electricity popping from her hand. I love this piece. But it was tough because, so this is a yes for me, because I think this next piece, even though it didn't feature cast, with like White, I don't know if White was going to choose this piece, but I certainly was going to choose this piece initially.
I was.
Yeah, and the reason is because it's just really well done. Like the aspect with Nezuka kicking the young girl from Apple Black, that's well done. The snow effect is well done. The blur effect is well done. The snow is well done. You know what? I'm sorry. I am gonna have to switch back. I gotta switch back because this piece is really good. This piece is really good, and like I don't read Demon Slayer. I tried to read it on the Shonen Jump app, but this piece is really good. And Grugiano Amani deserves a lot of credit for taking these two characters, putting them together, kind of like White was saying about, or not White, but Raymond said about Jordan draws earlier. Like this piece merges these two worlds together. Even the kick that Nezuka does is very reminiscent of the way that Gotunge does it for Kimetsu no Yaiba. I mean, she does it exactly the way that creator does it. So I got to go with this. So sorry, Camo, I'm gonna pull my vote for you. I'll put it here for Original Money because this is a really strong piece, and I can't vote against it. It's a good piece.
So then we
not in it. It's a good piece.
Then we split it. So I go Camo just to balance it out. Then you, the original, you go for this, and then I don't feel as bad anymore.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So that's my vote.
And then so that's it. So that was that did feel like the toughest round for me, honestly. And then Andrea, I want to talk a little bit about Sagami for Team Sagami, Saturday AM versus video games.
Yes, so Sagami is my series. It's a shonen shoujo sort of hybrid story following Ayumi, who lands up in a magical new world full with fantastic creatures like dragons, other type of creatures, elemental powers, and she tries to find her way home. So she sets out on a journey with these two guys here you can see on screen. And of course, things are more complicated than what they seem to be. She discovers that she also does have elemental powers, so she is also a Sagami. And the story is following her on her journey of self-discovery and adventures, and things are getting a bit more complicated.
Okay. So we're going to be starting here and just a quick breeze through for everybody to see, and then let's go. Morgan, let's start with you.
No.
Fred?
No, sadly.
Raymond?
No.
Yeah, I'm a no on this one. At NatQ_art, still great artist. At Corez Art, Morgan?
Yes.
Raymond?
Sorry. This one is a no.
Fred?
Yes, for me, actually.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I might switch later, but I'm gonna go with a very hard, like a tough decision. No, with this. Raymond? At MPOJ?
Yes.
I'm gonna go yes. Fred?
Yeah, no for me. This is a switch. I'm with you on the toughness of it. This one was, the more I thought about it, I was no on this.
Morgan?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Raymond?
Yes.
Fred?
Yeah.
Morgan?
No.
I'm a no, sadly. Raymond? This is at Gary Lytle. Still great artist. I like how he renders things. I like his style, but that's a no for me. Raymond?
Yeah, I remember him from the preview tournament. Really good artist. I'm gonna say no to this one.
Fred?
No.
Morgan?
No.
Okay, so going back to the beginning, Andrea, what do you think?
Well, yeah, it was a tough round too. I really love all of the details and the whole mood of this piece, but sadly I'm gonna go with no.
What do you think about this one, Charizard?
This one was the toughest for me. Love once again the mood, the whole digital painting. But sadly, I'm gonna go with no.
At MPOJ, what do you think?
This is a yes from me. I love it. What's going on? It's super dynamic, and yeah, this is a yes for me.
Yeah. What about at Call Me Naka?
An absolute yes. This was my favorite piece this round, and I'm not just biased because he's Hungarian too. I swear.
Okay. Are you sure at Gary Lytle wasn't your favorite?
He is a very good artist, so I really like his stuff, but sadly this round he's a no from me.
Okay.
So let me just say real quickly that like I said, this is a tough one, and hats off to all the creators on Team Sagami. Again, anytime you had 5 people, which was a leader, and Sagami had, it's going to be tough, and this one was really tough as well. The MPOJ and the Corez art, I think, are real challenges for people. Both of them have their pluses and minuses, so we'll see how it shakes out. Folks, again, you can go vote. Please make sure that you go vote by clicking on you can go back to the screen, by making sure you click on the vote button, which is right here. And folks, you have to click on each one under each team because it corresponds to that respective survey. So if you just fill out the survey, for example, for Team Apple Black, you won't make a difference on the voting for Team Sagami, Bully Eater, or Clock Striker. So please make sure you fill out each. I can promise you it's not a lot of questions. Each survey at best is 3 or 4 questions. Really simple, really basic, and you got the images there right on the survey. So whatever you thought of the artwork, you can make sure you see it for yourself before you click on the correct answer. Make sure you click on one person to come out of the group for your first place, and then one person who is different from who you chose for your first place for the second place position to come out of the group. You got to make sure you do that, because if you do anything separate, if you click on the same person for each group, for team one and for first place and second place, and for example, like Team Apple Black, then we will not count that entire vote. So please make sure you follow the instructions, you place your vote, and you do so for each of the teams. And this will ensure that you saw how difficult it was for us. This will make sure that the best artist comes out of each team. And that's not an easy thing to say is going to happen. It's not, there's no right rhythm to it. It just ultimately comes down to what do the vast majority of people think. And if we can all agree on something, then ultimately that'll be the project that comes out of it. For years, we've always had, difficulty as it gets closer and closer to that final person. So there's going to be no different this year. For those people who do not make it to the next round, as you heard throughout this chat, we absolutely love your stuff. And one thing I've said in the previous chats, I just want to reiterate, within the next couple of weeks, we've spoken to our sponsors and so forth, and we will be awarding prize packages for each of the weeks of the tournament. So we'll be choosing the best artists from each week of the tournament per our thoughts, as well as other sponsors, and be awarding a specific prize package to those individuals. So with that said, please make sure you vote. And I'll turn it back over to White for any last comment.
Oh, no, I think that's it for now. Again, you guys can actually, at the bottom of the page, you can relive the entries of previous years as well. So all the details you guys could need will be on the site. Here we have more details. I'll actually have Morgan maybe talk briefly about Soul Beat, since you're the creator here. You're kind of like the tiebreaker person. You can briefly talk about Soul Beat as well.
I don't know how much of a tiebreaker I really ended up being, but yeah, no, I really appreciate being hosted as well as another judge. Soul Beat, it's Dante's Inferno meets Disco Inferno. It's about this, funky, 35 or 30-year-old delinquent. I think that's what kind of makes it a little special, is it's a shonen manga about an adult male rather than like a teenager, like most shonen manga is about. It's basically, he's already lived part of his life and he feels like he needs to turn a direction. He's, kind of a troublemaker and does, kind of sinful things. But of course, trying to find the path to redemption is not going to be easy. He's got to deal with trying to understand what that means, a lot of introspection on his part of what it means to be good instead of bad. And then, of course, he's got to fight the forces of evil. There's always a supernatural element. So the story is basically just his journey to salvation while also fighting off people that would rather him not get saved. And, there's disco and a lot of fun stuff like that along the way.
Yeah, you can tell the super afro. And yeah, that's it. I'd like to
two quick notes. I forgot about these 2 quick notes. Folks, please support our app, our mobile app, all the things White just showed you. You can find all of these things in our brand new mobile app. It is available for Android or iOS devices. That means iPads, Google tablets, Android phones, smartphones, Samsung Galaxy, or iPhones. Please make sure, if you care about White Manga's Apple Black series, or Bakassi, or Bully Eater, Clock Striker, Sagami, Soul Beat, or any of the countless series that we have, please check out our app. It's a free download. There's tons of free content in the app. You can also purchase and support these creators by purchasing collections of their work specifically in the app. And of course, if you subscribe, you get to unlock even more material, like over 100 issues of Saturday AM, previous issues of Saturday PM, and our brand new LGBT magazine called Saturday Brunch, which is coming very soon. Last thing I want to say as well is that we're very honored with the partnerships that we have with Spectrum Noir, makers of quality alcohol-based art markers. Please make sure, if you want to create artwork and be in future tournaments like this with Saturday AM, that you check out Spectrum Noir. You can get the marker you normally would pay nearly $6 to $8 for Copic. You can get for less than $3. You can't beat that. So please check out Spectrum Noir. You can go to their website, spectrumnoir.com. Conversely, Clip Studio Paint, if you're making your own comic books, they're a lovely sponsor of ours out of Japan. Folks, it is very, very powerful. It shows you the power of the Saturday AM brand. So please, if you're looking to make your own manga content and so forth, and you don't want to buy markers, you don't want to buy paper, then buy Clip Studio Paint. It's well worth it. You get everything you possibly need in this wonderful package. And we've had some deals with them in the past where we can offer you a discount. Not right now, but you can learn more at clipstudio.net. Last thing I want to say in partnership with Clip Studio Paint is that this man right here, White Manga, you can get more with him this coming Friday, the 10th. He's going to be doing an official webinar courtesy of Graphicsly, a company who works with Clip Studio Paint. He's going to be talking about drawing cool action poses. You can get more detail on our website or various social media accounts for Saturday AM and for White Manga. So please make sure you investigate those. We'd love to have you be an app user on behalf of Saturday AM. We'd love to have you also be a subscriber of our YouTube channel. Please make sure you look that up to find more content like today's episode, as well as future videos that will be anchored by White, Jay Oden, and a number of our great creators. So please, thank you so much for taking your time out to experience us today. We hope that you'll take part in our revolution to make manga and anime more diverse.
Awesome. Raymond, Andrea, anybody else have any last words before we exit?
Thanks for having me. It was fun. Like I said, White, thanks for having us on the channel, man. It was really cool catching up, going through this stuff. So really good time.
Awesome. And Andrea?
Yeah, same. It was super fun. Thanks for having us. And everyone, please go and vote on your favorites.
Awesome. I'll do it real quick. This is another illustration by one of our creators, JR DeBard, who does Underground. Really nice illustration. You can see sponsors Clip Studio Paint, Spectrum Noir, round 3 of March of Madness. And hopefully you guys stick to the end till we get to the final and we crown who gets the prize and who gets all the bragging rights and fun and blah, 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 blah. Y'all get the gist. So yeah, guys, White Manga and Saturday AM. And we are out.